My fiancée asked me to meet her ex 3 weeks before our wedding, and I assumed she just wanted closure before we started our life together. Instead, he looked at me across that table and asked if she'd ever told me the real story of how we met. My fiancée stood up so fast her chair nearly tipped over and said only 2 words, his name, like a warning. By the time I finally understood what that warning meant, I no longer knew which 6 years of my life had actually been real. I'll call myself Nathan for this post, and I'll call her Claire. And I want to say up front that I've rewritten this probably a dozen times trying to figure out where the actual beginning of this story is. Because the honest answer is that I still don't fully know, and maybe that uncertainty is the whole point of writing it out at all. Claire and I had been together for 6 years by the time the wedding invitations went out, and 6 years is long enough that you stop thinking of someone as your girlfriend and start thinking of her as a permanent fixture of every future you can imagine for yourself. So that when I pictured my 30s, she was there. And when I pictured having kids someday, she was there. And when I pictured getting old, I pictured her sitting across from me at some kitchen table years from now, complaining. The way she always did, that I made the coffee too strong. We were 3 weeks from the wedding. The invitations had gone out to over 100 people. The venue, a converted barn about an hour outside the city, was fully paid for. My suit hung in the closet in its garment bag, and her dress was hidden somewhere in her sister's apartment that I wasn't allowed to see under any circumstances. Everything, every single logistical piece of the day we'd spent 18 months building, was in place, and I remember feeling that particular Tuesday evening, a kind of settled contentment I hadn't fully appreciated until it was gone. Claire sat across from me at our kitchen table, and I noticed, in hindsight, that she'd waited until after dinner, after the dishes were done, after we were both relaxed and unguarded, before she said, quietly, "I need you to meet Daniel." I laughed, actually laughed, because the name meant nothing threatening to me in that first half-second. "Who?" I asked. She looked at me, and something in her face had already changed by the time she answered.